Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me a quick favor, see that little subscribe button at the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, click that subscribe button. Really does help our channel grow, our audience grow, and I really do appreciate it more than you know. So click that subscribe button. Appreciate your support. Now, here's the video that you came here for. All right, everybody. I'm back. Gonna be back. So tell you what, it's Friday afternoon. I was actually just filling in on Fox Sports Radio for Doug Gottlieb, 3 to 5 Eastern time. And in about the last 10 minutes or so that we were on air, we did get a very interesting update on the story that I think has just captured absolutely everybody, certainly the people that follow and listen to this show, the story of Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss, and all of the drama surrounding all of these schools courting him, okay? At this point, you don't need me to tell you what has and has not happened over the last couple days, but what I will tell you is a couple things. One, I think if you had asked me every day this week what I think the end result is, I think I would have felt differently pretty much every single day. Some days I felt like he was staying at Ole Miss. Some days I felt like he was going to Florida. Recently, the buzz has been LSU. But I'll also say this, is that, a broken clock is right twice a day, because I did say earlier in the week, I said, I think we get some sort of resolution on this issue by Friday. Basically, my thought process was, if we don't get any sort of answer before Friday, Saturday at the latest, you go into Egg Bowl week and Lane Kiffin has media availabilities, and every question doesn't become about Mississippi State, doesn't become about one of the great rivalries in college football, it becomes about what are you doing, what is your future? So I bring it up because I thought we would get some sort of resolution on Friday. We find out on Thursday that Keith Carter, the AD from Ole Miss, is meeting with Lane Kiffin, and at about 4:30, 5 o'clock Eastern time, we did get a statement from Keith Carter coming out of that meeting with Lane Kiffin. I want to go ahead and read it word for word verbatim, and then we will react, because it feels like there was a lot said without saying it. So let's start with the statement from Keith Carter. This is the Ole Miss AD. Remember, Ole Miss, obviously, where Lane Kiffin is. They're trying to extend him long-term. We've had the debate all week of, does it make sense to let him go before the playoff? I lean with, yeah. If he doesn't want to be there, boot him to the curb. Anyway, Keith Carter, the AD at Ole Miss, did release this statement. Let me see if I can find the exact timestamp here. It was 4:24 Eastern time. He said, quote, remember, they were meeting today. Quote, Coach Kiffin and I have had many pointed and positive conversations regarding his future at Ole Miss, including meeting today, that was Friday for people who might be watching this Saturday, Sunday, whatever, and Chancellor Boyd. While we discuss next steps, we know we cannot lose sight of what is most important, our 6th-ranked football team that is poised to finish the regular season in historic fashion. Despite the outside noise, Coach Kiffin is focused on preparing our team for the Egg Bowl, and together we want to ensure that our players and coaches can concentrate fully on next Friday's game. This team is on the cusp of an unprecedented season, and it's imperative they feel the support of the Ole Miss family in the week ahead. An announcement, this is the important part, an announcement on Coach Kiffin's future is expected the Saturday following the game. So Ole Miss and Mississippi State play Friday, Black Friday. Sounds like there is an announcement expected on Saturday. Let me say this. Let's not beat around the bush. Let's dive right in. This statement, I think it was supposed to calm things. I think all it will ultimately do is create more chaos, more controversy. And if you're asking me to tell you what I think about what Lane Kiffin's future is, I think this is a pretty good indication that he will probably not be at Ole Miss next year. And I think it's just, if it plays out the way I think a lot of us feel like it's going to play out, this is kind of a sad day for Ole Miss. In many ways, it's a sad day for college football. We'll find out officially next Saturday, but let's break it down based on what we know now. So if you want to break down this statement, it is clear that certainly nothing is finalized in favor of Ole Miss. Okay, I think we can clarify that. If there was a deal in place, if there was something done, if everything was ready to be signed, they would absolutely announce it today. Why not announce it today? Why not have all this momentum going into your rivalry game, your final regular season game of the best regular season in school history that is going to result in a college football playoff appearance? So if things were done they would be announced, or there would be a statement. Hey, we met with Coach Kiffin. Things are not finalized, but we're super happy with the direction things are going, and we hope to have everything resolved, early in the week. I mean, there are ways, if you are in negotiations and you believe that a decision is going to be made in your favor, that you can tease, hey, we talked, hey, it was positive, hey, good vibes are coming, just be patient. There is a way to do that, okay? And so instead, when they put out a statement, they did meet, and it says, hey, everybody, forget about what's going to happen in a month or in a week or in a year. We'll talk about that on Saturday. I'm going to read directly from the statement. We should not lose sight of what is most important, our sixth-ranked team that is poised to finish the regular season in historic fashion. Despite the outside noise, Coach Kiffin is focused on preparing our team for the Egg Bowl, and together we want to ensure that our players and coaches can concentrate fully on next Friday's game. To me, I'll just be blunt. I think this is a massive, massive, massive PR misstep for Ole Miss, and frankly for Lane Kiffin. But clearly at this point, if Lane Kiffin is leaving during a playoff run, I don't know that he cares what other people think about him anyway, okay? And let me explain why it's a big misstep, okay? And I tweeted this out at Aaron_Torres. It is because if, the way the statement reads, the statement basically reads, hey, don't worry about this coaching stuff. It'll all figure itself out. Just focus on our sixth-ranked team that is trying to finish out the best regular season in school history. That sounds great, okay? If I could encapsulate this, and I tweeted this out at Aaron_Torres, I said, if I could encapsulate this, the vibe that Ole Miss is very clearly trying to give out is, guys, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. Enjoy the journey, right? Is that not something that you've heard a million times? I know Kobe Bryant famously used to say that all the time. Maybe your grandparents said, hey, don't worry about the destination. Enjoy the journey, right? Enjoy the climb to the to the top of the mountain, because once you get there, you're going to realize it's not what you thought. And so I bring it up. That is clearly to me what this statement is trying to say. Don't worry about the destination. Enjoy this journey of a sixth-ranked team that's 10-1 playing their rival on Friday. The problem is, you can only enjoy the journey without worrying about the destination when you don't know what the destination is, right? Like when your parents tell you when you start a career at 22 or 23 or whatever, enjoy the journey, not the destination. It's because, hey, you may be CEO of this company in 20 years, but don't try to get to the end of being CEO without enjoying these 20 years along the way. Here is the issue. If your parents knew you were going to get fired and you were going to lose everything and it'd be a total disaster, they wouldn't tell you to enjoy the journey, not the destination. You can only enjoy the journey when you don't know what the destination is. The issue is, it feels like the destination is pretty clear. The destination ends with Lane Kiffin leaving for another job. We'll discuss that in a minute. And I'm sorry, it's hard if you're an Ole Miss fan to say, hey, we're going to just enjoy this journey when the destination ends with a fiery crash and starting completely over heading into the college football playoff. And so to me, I actually think this was a giant PR misstep for Ole Miss. I understand that you want to protect Lane Kiffin. To a degree, you want to protect Lane Kiffin, but you really want to protect the players. You don't want a distraction during the week. There are ways to do it without saying you're going to get an answer by Saturday, specifically on Saturday. Because when you say we're getting an answer on Saturday, it feels to me like the decision has already been made. The decision has been made, and hey, we're just trying to get through this last game before we reveal what that decision is, right? It's like a bad movie. You know what the end is, so let's just get there. And so to me, I think it's a giant PR misstep from Ole Miss. I understand there's a world where you just don't announce anything. I think there is a world where you can protect the sanctity of the game, if you will, the sanctity of the locker room, and even protect Lane Kiffin. Hey, listen, Lane loves his time here. We hope he's here forever. We're going to continue to discuss behind the scenes his future in hopes that he is our long-term answer, and we know he has options. That leaves it totally open-ended. Maybe he's staying. Maybe he's going. But when you put a deadline on something, it feels like the decision has already been made. And so, listen, maybe I'm 100% wrong. Maybe he knows he's staying at Ole Miss. But again, if he knew he was staying at Ole Miss, Why would he not announce it today? You want some momentum going into this mega rivalry game? How about the fact that, you're signing the best coach in modern history to another extension, and he's going to be here for the foreseeable future? And so to me, I just think there were ways that they could handle it not like this. When you put a drop dead date on and then tell everybody, ignore the elephant in the room, right? Like, I know I'm using a lot of metaphors in this video, but when there's a reason they call it the elephant in the room. It's because if there's an elephant in the room, you're going to pay attention to the elephant in the room. You don't ignore the elephant in the room. And in this case, you can't tell smart, intelligent fans of Ole Miss, hey, don't even worry about that thing that we're going to announce on Saturday. It could be anything. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's bad. Don't worry about it. We got a game on Friday. It's going to be awesome. Show up, be loud, go Rebs. Like, it's not that simple. And so to me, I think it's a giant PR misstep. Listen, there are conversations to be had about Lane Kiffin, big picture. If this happens, I don't want to start bashing the guy because there's a chance that he stays at Ole Miss. I will say, if he does leave, whether it's for LSU or Florida, I think we can just put aside all the narratives and all the fluff about how he's a changed man and he's so different and he's so this. No. If he leaves in the middle of a playoff run, he's the same dude he's always been. The dude who left Tennessee in the middle of, frankly, a riot, which wasn't Tennessee fans' fault, but it's the truth. Left Alabama, fired days before a national championship game because he was too distracted. I mean, if that's where we get, then that's just who Lane Kiffin is, and we have to accept it, and he will never be anything but that, and good luck to whichever school hires him. He's going to win a lot of games, and it will probably end ugly because, to me, I still sit there and say, I find it stunning that you would potentially even consider leaving when you have a team good enough to win the national championship. I just said this on radio a few minutes ago. It's like the old Herm Edwards quote, you play to win the game. Well, you're winning the games. You're going to the college football playoff. And so there's nothing that LSU and Florida can't offer you in the short term that you don't already have at Ole Miss. And all you're doing is going somewhere else, hoping to get the thing that you already have right now. So it's his life. He should do what he wants. We'll find out in the coming days, weeks, and months what he decides. But if he decides if he decides to leave Ole Miss before the playoff, no sympathy for him on the way out. I'm going to side with Ole Miss fans here. They gave him everything he's wanted over these last couple of years. It's still not enough. What is there to say? And by the way, really quickly, and we'll talk about all this on Sunday's show and certainly all of next week, is that I also don't blame them for making this move. I talked to two different people today that said, Ole Miss is crazy. This is the best season they've had. You ride it out and hope for the best and hope that, he goes on a deep run, whatever. I said, I completely disagree. You have given this guy every single thing he wants. You have given him every single thing that he needs to quite literally not only compete with, but surpass LSU and Florida. Literally beat them on the field this year. So you can't say, well, hypothetically, no. You have everything you need. And so I don't blame Ole Miss because you're not going to hold this program captive for another 2 months while you figure things out. I don't blame Ole Miss. If Lane Kiffin feels like this is what he needs to do, that's fine. But I would also say, man, it is what it is, and we'll find out. If you're asking me to handicap, it sure does feel like LSU is in the driver's seat. I don't know what's changed. I know the history with Layla, his wife in Florida, in Gainesville specifically, his ex-wife, but you get the point. But, man, it does feel like this thing's trending in the right direction. And I'll tell you what, we're going to find out some fascinating details. There was rumors that he spoke to the governor of Louisiana, and then there was rumors that he didn't. LSU just hired an AD a few weeks ago, so crazy times in this world of college football. And I'll tell you what, we're going to keep monitoring it, certainly all throughout next week and into Friday and Saturday, where we will probably get some resolution, obviously, on Saturday. All right, I think that's it for this Friday evening update on Lane Kiffin. Just a couple quick reminders. Make sure you're subscribed here on the YouTube channel. Also, by the way, you want to do me a favor, SeatGeek.com. If you use promo code Torres, it gets you $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek.com, promo code Torres. We will be back Sunday morning. We'll have plenty more on this Aaron Torres pod. Make sure